I'd like to take a few minutes to explain to you some things about the Water District and hopefully clear up some confusion that seems to be out there. We want to be able to explain to you what a water district is and what it isn't. And I'm hoping that you will take this information and share it with people in your neighborhood and others that you may hear talking about it. Let's start with the current state of affairs. We have the Greater Cincinnati Water Works, which is a city department. It is similar to other city departments that we have within the government. The way the current state law is written, the city is not eligible to receive any financial benefit from the operations of waterworks. It is, in fact, what we refer to as an enterprise fund. And that means that all of the revenue that it takes in must stay confined within that one agency. What we are proposing is to bring forward a new model to use within our region. This model would be allowed to provide water service to a larger area than we currently do. It would still be an independently run utility. Some people, upon hearing about this idea, have worried that we're talking about privatizing water. This is not privatization. In fact, there would be a clause in the transfer agreement that would prohibit the regional water district from ever selling its assets to a private entity. When you think of privatization, a couple of examples that come to mind would be like Cincinnati Bell or Duke Energy. Those are privatized utilities. In that situation, the city has no standing to appoint anyone to the boards of those organizations. In the proposed water district, the board of directors would always have a majority of its members appointed by the mayor of the city of Cincinnati. And that's one of the fundamental differences between a public utility and the private utility examples that I've given you. By being a regional entity, it would allow our water utility to serve a greater number of people than currently allowed by law. It's important that we take a long-term look at what benefits the city of Cincinnati. There are 3 areas that would be beneficial to city residents if we are able to make this change. We would be able to maintain reasonable rates by spreading our fixed costs over a wider customer base. There would be long-term revenue support for the city, and this idea would support economic development. Let's go back and talk a little bit more about maintaining reasonable rates. Our rate increases would stay about the same that are already proposed by Waterworks. Within our city, water usage has been declining over the past several years due to a number of manufacturing facilities that have moved to other locations. When you think about a manufacturing company, typically they are heavy consumers of water. And the more of them we have in the community, the better off we are in terms of water sales. But given the fact that they have moved out, and also when we consider the current technology that we use in our homes when we're talking about in our bathrooms or in our kitchens that conserve water, water consumption has been down. And that means that the revenues that we've derived from that have not been growing at the rate that we previously hoped. By having a water district, we would be able to take the fixed costs that would be there no matter which form we use and spread them over a larger number of people. And by doing that, that keeps the rates reasonable for all of the people that we serve. This would also allow us to gain some much needed long-term revenue support. I'm sure if you watch us every year around budget time, you see the struggles that we have as we try to provide services to people in the community where we always have more needs than we have money. Keep in mind that I said a few minutes ago that in our current situation, we are prohibited by law from sharing in any of the revenues that our water operation generates. Under this proposed water district, water operations would be able to provide us with a revenue stream. And this revenue stream can be used for roads, for sidewalks, for other infrastructure. It could be used to help stimulate investment and create jobs. And that is a plus for the city of Cincinnati long term. In terms of what kind of revenue are we talking about, we could start at about $5 to $6 million a year. That is what is projected. And then that would grow over time to between $14 and $18 million a year. And we would get that over a period of 75 years. The exact amount that we would realize will depend on the final agreement. This idea is not new. There are other examples of water districts around the country. In fact, during my tenure in Louisville, Kentucky, we could always count on between $18 and $20 million a year that the city of Louisville received from the Louisville Water Company. It was, in fact, that idea that started me thinking about the possibility of us doing that here in Cincinnati. A water district would also allow us to support economic development. When you think about the regional footprint, not all areas have a plentiful supply of safe drinking water and stable, affordable rates as we enjoy here in Cincinnati. By having a safe drinking water supply and providing affordable rates, that is a key to attracting new residents, which we need not only in the city but in the region, new businesses, and new jobs. When you think about water as a commodity, it is something that has been in short supply in various parts of the country. For example, over the last several years, we have watched the struggles that cities like Atlanta have gone through. In fact, when I was in Kentucky, there was even conversation about doing an underground pipeline from Kentucky down to Atlanta, Georgia, to provide them with water. We are in a very positive situation here in terms of our supply, and we think that by creating this water district, it will be beneficial to all those that we serve. Another aspect of this idea has been, what about the employees that currently work for Waterworks? In this new relationship, the water district's employees would still be public employees. They would not necessarily be city employees, but they would be employees of the district. City residents will continue to benefit from lower rates than customers outside the city, which is the current situation that we have. We also have benefited because we have a very high quality product. And I can tell you without a doubt that the same product that you get today when you turn on your tap would be there for you if we create a water district. It in no way would compromise the high quality standards that you have come to expect. In fact, when you think about water, it is a regulated utility. There are both state and federal regulations that we have to abide by, whether it is the Greater Cincinnati Waterworks or it is a regional district. Our water system is among the best in the country, and that will not change regardless of whether we have a water district or a waterworks department. This is a tremendous opportunity that is in front of us, and I hope that we don't let it pass us by.